Okay, we are live, I believe. So, welcome to the hiking class. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, so how are you doing a hiking class online? And I will tell you, it took a little bit of innovation, but to be honest, it's actually going to be really kind of unique and interesting because you guys get to experience the trails that you have within your own state. And I know that we have Jolene who's in Colorado, and we have Ben who's in Arkansas, and we have Tyler who's in Missouri. And so this is going to be really fun, I think, because you guys get to kind of share your experiences as you hike within your own states, meaning that you can also recommend other types of trails that maybe one of you guys would like to say, hey, if you ever come into this state, please go to this trail because it's really unique and it's really great to see. So with that being said, I am going to see if I can share my screen here, so that way you guys have, okay, great. You guys can see what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish within this class. So the first thing that I would really like us to kind of go through is just get this setup of what does the syllabus look like, what are some of the expectations that we have moving forward. So really quickly, we're just going to kind of go over that syllabus so that you have that understanding. But again, these courses are designed to be experiential courses, meaning that we have to combine academics and experiences together. So you might say, well, all I wanted to do was just go hiking. I just wanted to pick a trail and just go hiking, and that would be all that I would need to do and the requirements. And yes, I would love to accommodate that, and we are. You guys are going to be hiking every week. But along with that, we do have that academic portion. And this class and other classes that we have designed for outdoor adventure leadership is specifically for you to understand, learn the principles of outdoor adventure, but also be able to lead groups and be able to really communicate the basics of what hiking and backpacking is. And so some of the reading that I have you guys doing is potentially for your benefit, like you're probably going to get some tips that you didn't know about, but also just for you to communicate to others, this is how we are going hiking, and this is what you need to do, what you need to bring, how to pack your backpack, those types of things that seem really fundamental, but you would be surprised by how many people really don't know how to pack a bag for hiking or what to include in it. So we are going to make sure that you guys are well aware of those different types of principles as well. So we have these basic hiking principles that we're going to be going through. And again, the lectures are going to be really short because predominantly it's about your experiences and how you communicate those experiences after you've completed a hike. So though we will touch base every week, it's not going to be a lot of things. It's not going to be a lot of detail because you're growing within this hiking dynamic and setting. So we want to make sure that you are well aware of the safeties that are involved, the stewardship. There's the practice of leave no trace. And that's a really important one. It's important that you are aware of when you are leading a group on a hike, that they also don't leave a trace, meaning there's not pollution, there's not a water bottle that's being discarded in the wilderness, there's not plastic bags, those different types of things, which you think is common sense, and it really is, but there are these practices that we have to have so that way we know what we're doing and communicating it likewise. And just like, again, the value and benefits of hiking, how to properly warm up and stretch before a really intense hike, how to properly manage yourself with rests and those types of things. If you were to go on a hike that's involved a treacherous terrain or mountain, and those types of things. And then also, we really want to get an understanding of biblically how we can incorporate biblical principles into God's creation. And God's creation is where we can learn more about Him, and we can also gain this understanding of how to challenge people with their walk with Christ, and how we can draw out different principles from hiking and looking at God's creation and saying, hey, I want to point this out. I want to use this as a focus point of how to communicate a principle from the Bible. So we'll be going through that as well. And then, of course, just the risk management and assessment that really does exist within hiking. And obviously, this is not going to be an intense version of hiking. It's not going to be like you're needing to go hike up Mount Everest or train to go hiking up Mount Everest. That's not what we're doing in this class. But what we're really exploring is just the safeties involved. Murphy's Law, whatever can happen will happen type of principle. So we've got to be prepared for that. So moving forward, the Bible is obviously going to be a textbook, but also there are these two simple books. Now, why are they simple? They're simple because these are the principles that you will communicate to people that you are guiding hikes with. So there's this is the pocket guide to hiking and backpacking. It's very simple. You get it from REI. So just go to rei.com to order it. It'll come really quick. It's not very much. And it's something that you can just put in your backpack. So you can actually carry this book in case you need to reference it as you're going on hikes or leading hikes. But it's got a lot of things in it. It's got, how to pack the right way, dress, food, cooking, shelter, fire. So what types of logs that you could use to build a fire. And I know some of this is really just common sense, but again, how are we communicating these principles to other people? So it also has navigation, compass, and those different types of principles as well. So that's your first book. The second book that you will be looking through is How to Survive Your First Trip in the Wild, Backpacking for Beginners. I know, again, that a lot of you guys have experienced backpacking and have gone off-trail backpacking and all those things, but you would be surprised by how many of those common sense principles that you would think people would already know and understand they're remiss. And we are looking at really just expert tips of how to communicate, but also looking over checklists, gear checklists, being able to plan, implementing a plan of attack when you are hiking and backpacking. So there are a lot of great tools in here in this book that you can use. So this is the other book that you'll be going through and answering discussion questions off this book as well. So I know, again, this is hiking, so why are we writing a paper? We are doing a state trails hiking guide reference paper, and so you're going to address 10 trails within the state of either Missouri or your state, preferably your state, and then the biblical truths and principles you can draw out, the gear that's needed. You can use the hikes that you are going on in this class as a part of that reference paper, and we will explore a little bit more in detail with that paper as we get involved in this class. So the hiking portion that you will be doing is you're going to hike a trail every week. Now, you will notice that we have an assignment right off the beginning about what trails you will need to incorporate as you hike. And the plan that you have for implementing this every week. So because this is an online course, you get to plan these rather than me planning and we just going on hikes every week. You're doing the majority of the work, which is beneficial to you because, again, this is more of a guide mentality that you're going to have as you go through this class. And as custom with hiking and backpacking, a lot of people do journal entries when they go to different hikes and even multi-day hikes. Journal entries, there's some specific questions that you will need to answer for your different hikes and different types of biblical truth that can be gleaned from the experience and so forth. We will have some other articles, so instead of me lecturing, I might have you read a couple articles in place of that that would be helpful as you move forward with your hiking and your plan of attack. So that is really what this class consists of, is the reading, the trail paper, the weekly hikes, and the journal entries. Along with your weekly hikes, you will be responsible for downloading that app. It's called Strava, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here. But also, when we are doing some discussion questions within this course, what I want you to do is not do a discussion where you're writing it out, but you're recording yourself after you've completed a hike and showing us your area, the destination point that you got to, or the starting point, and then the destination point as well. So that might be a part of that lecture requirement rather than me just talking. Again, this is more experience related as you continue on with the course. So tentative schedule, we've got the benefits and value, hiking techniques, equipment, nutrition, safety, environmental stewardship, basic first aid, and technology. And we're using that technology right off the bat with that Strava app. So those are really good tools for you to keep as you move forward. So let's go into modules. And modules within, let's see, I gotta get there. Okay, so let me get to the hiking course. Okay, so this is where you are looking at the journal entry, reading 1, lecture and hike 1, hiking destinations, upload Strava. Now, every week is going to be the same outline: journal entry, reading, lecture, and hike. So you'll see that as you scroll down, and I'm sure that you've already seen this already. There will be a couple other lighter things added, like a discussion question where you're recording yourself as you are doing your hike. And again, the whole purpose of this is to share your experiences with the rest of the class. So we're just going to touch on week 1 just so that you're aware of some of the things that are required. So every time that you go on a hike, you're entering your journal as this. And this is, again, mentality like you're going to write a blog about this particular hike. So what hike trail you hiked, and give me a picture. So give me a selfie of that trail, or give me a picture of the environment that you got to see. Anything like that is going to be great to implement. And then an overview and description of that trail. How long was it? Was it treacherous? Was it easy? Did it have paved roads, or was it wooded, tall grass? And then again, your personal experience. What types of things did you have as you were walking along and thinking? Did you invite a friend? How did the friend like your hike? Those things are really important as we really dive into hiking and backpacking. And then, of course, one biblical principle that you could really draw out of this hike and apply it if you were to lead a group on this particular hike. Now, going back to modules, we also have reading number 1. So that would be this little book here. And I know that it probably is going to take you guys some time to get these 2 books if you haven't gotten them already. And that's okay, but as long as you can stay on task. But I want you to be able to look through this book thoroughly and read it. And it's not very long, but it does give you lots of great tips to use with people as you are planning those hikes. So that's really important. And then, of course, this lecture is being added. Every lecture will be added into this lecture and hike 1. And again, after you've completed hike 1, hike 2, hike 3, you are going to submit that journal as a result of your hike and proof of your hike. So you don't have to do anything but with this except for tell me that you've watched the lecture or you read the articles, depending on what is involved within that particular week. So, and again, there's a couple extra things here within week 1. Hiking destinations. So I need you to look at your state, what's feasible, what you can do, and we want to go on 8 hikes, right, within this class. This is also a physical exertion class, meaning that you will have some longer hikes that you have to complete. And that's a part of this challenge dynamic. Some of you might say, well, 8 miles isn't really that long. No, it might not be that hard and challenging maybe in the state of Missouri, but Arkansas has mountains, Colorado has mountains, so it can be more challenging maybe in those areas with that 8-mile hike. But nonetheless, we know that we can achieve it. We know it's possible, so we're going to go after it. If you have any questions or concerns about that, please let me know. So list 1 through 8, the hikes that you will be going on, the trails that you will be going on, and then let me know the distance. And again, you can start with that 1-mile hike this week, and then all the way through to 8 miles is what we're trying to get. Now, if you looked at your weeks and said, well, the last week of class, I have so much going on, I cannot complete an 8-mile hike within that week, then maybe you do the 8-mile hike within week 5. Whatever the case may be, we're wanting to complete those many miles by the end of the class. But I don't care in which, I don't care if it's numerical or if it's out of order, that's fine too. Just as long as you can get them done. And then the last thing, again, we're uploading the Strava app. This is what it looks like, and get that on your phone, and then make sure that you put in my email address, so that way I can look and assess and see that you did complete the hike. And then what I do is under lecture 1, hike 1, I will then put that you did the hike and then add the points accordingly. So that's kind of really the direction and how we're going to complete this 8-week journey, so to speak. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys are thinking about and how this class can be achieved. And just let me know, if something isn't working, if you feel like, well, I would like to do something beyond this, then let's challenge you. Let's do something more. But I also don't know the type of time frame that you guys have. Usually, if you were here on campus, we would do, again, a hike that was a 1-mile hike, and then 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8 miles within that 8-week time frame, which means that, some of these hikes would take a lot more time to complete. But that's, again, about that experience. So you might look at this and say, well, there's not a whole lot of time that I have to really dedicate to this course. True, it's not a 3-hour course, it's a 1-hour course, but you do have to complete those hikes. So, that week 7 is 7 miles, week 6 is 6 miles, and obviously. So, with that being said, that's our outlook. And if you do have any questions about what we're trying to do and achieve, please let me know. But other than that, I think we have, this course set up. Well, this is the first time teaching this course ever in Calvary history. So that's really exciting. We've had a camping major before, but hiking was not a class that was actually designed for that particular major. So this is brand new. This is hot out of the oven, and really excited about how we're going to do this course. So I hope that this makes sense, and if you need any help in finding trails, or you find a roadblock and let's just say a national park has been shut down because of COVID regulations, please just communicate those things with me. You'll notice that I have not put any due dates on quite a few of these things. And that the reason for that is, again, I know that you guys can do different hikes at different points in time when time allows. So I just need you guys to get the work done with this class. Not necessarily the time frame of it, although I do not recommend you taking 1 week and just hiking every single day, trying to get all of them knocked out. You could do that if you wanted to, but I don't recommend it. So anyways, with that, I am done with this lecture and excited for everything that's going on, and I hope you are too. So have a great day. Have fun designing a plan for your hikes, and we will touch base next week. All right.